William Morrissey, who we know as Big Cass, was born in 1986 in Queens, New York. Cass wouldn't start his professional wrestling career until he was in his early 20s in 2009. His original character was that of a cowboy called Big Billy Young. Roughly 2 years after making his debut, Cass would be signed to a WWE contract and was sent to FCW, WWE's developmental promotion. Cass would retire the Billy Young character and became Colin Cassidy. He didn't have much success in FCW, losing a majority of his matches. However, in 2012, FCW would be replaced by a revamped NXT. But Big Cass wouldn't appear right away, waiting instead till June 5th, 2013 to make his debut. Just a reminder, on Bell to Bell, we count NXT as a wrestler's first WWE match. So, let's get to it. Big Cass, still under the ring name of Colin Cassidy, didn't get an entrance and was present in the ring. His very first opponent was Mason Ryan, who did get an entrance, so guess who's winning? Ryan was able to push Big Cass into the corner and started beating him down. Cass didn't let that happen for too long, as he was able to counter and get a few strikes in. Unfortunately for Big Cass, his control over Mason Ryan only lasted for a few seconds, as his dominance stopped after eating a big boot to the face. Mason Ryan continued where he left off, and ultimately won the match after hitting an Argentine neckbreaker. Like a lot of debut matches, there's not much here. The match mostly showed off the power of Mason Ryan. I will say, I think it worked well, considering Big Cass is, well, big. It helped make Ryan look like a dominating force. Interesting that a year later, Mason Ryan would be gone from WWE and Big Cass would still be competing. Anyways, let's move forward. Soon after his debut, Big Cass would team up with Enzo Amore, who likewise had been defeated by Mason Ryan. They feuded with Ryan and were able to defeat him in a handicap match. They would continue to team together and participated in a handful of number one contenders matches for the NXT Tag Team titles, but were never able to get a championship match. In 2014, Carmelo would join their team, and sometime after that, the duo would start competing in a number of NXT Tag Team Championship matches in 2015, but were unable to win any of them. While 2015 wasn't the best year for Big Cass, things picked up in 2016, where on the Raw after WrestleMania 32, Big Cass and Enzo Amore would make their main roster debut. Then on SmackDown, Big Cass would have his first match on the main roster, teaming with Enzo to take on the Ascension. Cass didn't spend the most time in the ring, but when he did, he absolutely demolished both Connor and Victor, a far cry from his first match in NXT. There was a bit of a repeat from Cass and Enzo's NXT days. While they competed for the Tag Team Championships a number of times, they were never able to win them. Big Cass spent most of his time in 2016 with Enzo, but Cass's big solo moment of that year came when he won a number one contenders match for the Universal Championship. He didn't win the title, but it was a significant step in Cass's singles career. 2017 was more of the same for Cass and Enzo. They continued to stay in the tag team title picture, but were never victorious in any of their championship matches. Later in the year, Enzo Amore would be attacked backstage, but the perpetrator was unknown. It was eventually revealed that it was Big Cass, and thus turning him into a villain, or heel. The two would have a match at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, with Cass coming out with the victory. Big Cass would follow that up with a victory over the Big Show at SummerSlam a little later. Unfortunately, Cass would suffer a knee injury shortly after his SummerSlam victory and was taken out of action. He returned during the Superstar Shakeup in 2018 and became a part of the SmackDown Live roster. There he began a rivalry with Daniel Bryan, and that resulted in a match between both wrestlers at the Backlash pay-per-view, where Bryan forced Big Cass to submit. But Cass wasn't going to give up just yet, as he and Bryan faced off again at Money in the Bank, and this is where it all came to an end for Big Cass and WWE. I'd call the theme of this match Bryan's speed and submission abilities versus Cass's size and power. Daniel Bryan started the match off by mostly focusing on Big Cass's legs and trying to lock him into a submission hold. Big Cass didn't get many moves in during the beginning of the match, but the ones he did, hit hard. In fact, after a blow to the outside of the ring, Big Cass was able to take away Daniel Bryan's quickness and start taking over the match. Bryan would make brief comebacks, but they weren't able to overpower the strength of Big Cass. That was until after Bryan countered a slam into the corner by Cass. Bryan then went back to the legs of Big Cass, attacking him with kicks and a few dragon screw leg whips. Daniel Bryan then became more vicious, using the ring to inflict additional damage to the legs of Cass. Unfortunately for Big Cass, the fury of Daniel Bryan continued, hitting him with his signature dropkicks. The match almost came to an end once Daniel Bryan attempted the yes lock. Cass was able to use his strength to quickly institute a rope break. Daniel Bryan's assault continued on the outside of the ring, but Big Cass was finally able to regain control after stopping Bryan from hitting a top rope maneuver. Cass then hit Daniel Bryan with a fallaway slam and decided to try to beat Bryan at his own game and performed a submission move of his own in the form of the torture rack. But Cass's dominance didn't last too long, as Daniel Bryan was able to get him caught on the top rope and eventually hit him with yes kicks. Just as it looked like Bryan was about to hit the running knee, Big Cass countered and hit Daniel Bryan with a big boot. This proved only to be a delay, as Daniel Bryan hit the running knee after escaping a second torture rack, and this gave Bryan the chance to latch on the heel lock on Cass, resulting in him tapping out. Daniel Bryan not only defeated Big Cass, but put an end to his time in WWE. That is in kayfabe, of course. In the real world, Big Cass was released by WWE 2 days later on June 19, 2018. This is due to a number of issues he was having with the company. While his WWE career has ended, Big Cass's next chapter is just getting started. Hey, if you like big wrestlers, then you might want to check out the Bell to Bell episode on Hulk Hogan. I heard he might be coming back. Until next time, I'm Zach, and that was Bell to Bell.